Welcome to the Peacemaker Talks, where we're practicing peace to make it. Thank you for joining me here today. We are going to have an exciting program because this is a day that the Lord has made. So let's start with a prayer. And I first want to bring to mind the soldiers that we have lost with the ongoing march towards peace. We're just going to have a minute of silence and prayer, silent prayer. And 1 minute is a long time when you're working in a business that is very time pressured. And it's time pressured for a reason. Because we're in a moment, we're in a time, we're at the midnight hour, right? Of where we must stand up as patriots, as Americans. And each of us must be well informed, diligent. If you see something, say something. Remember that. Now this is where we are at as a country. Is a time where we need to be focused on peace. And we have a leader right now that is keeping us focused that way, President Trump. He was elected into office to seek peace. Peace within our very own country and peace abroad. He's not there to make war. That's something that those who have come before him were more than ready to do, more than willing to do. But President Trump was elected because he's not willing to do it. It's not something he wills. It's not something he wants to do. But be assured that as a peacemaker, it's not all, what's that phrase? It's not all roses and sunshine and roses. Or I hope you know what I'm referring to. Because we're really at an hour that growing up, we didn't have to face these issues. But our youth does. And we don't want to have to put them on the front lines of facing this. We want to be on the front lines before the youth. Unfortunately, as we're finding out, though, as we go forward, in really looking deeper as we get involved, we're finding out that our country had been hijacked a few. Now this is where I'm going to try and stay on the peacemaker path of, I'm not going to delve too back into details where I could get caught up, where I don't have the facts right in front of me and it might be a little bit more difficult. I tell you where I'm getting my facts from with the Peacemaker Talks, and that is the Holy Bible. Because right there is your instruction book. That is our focus. And I do believe that President Trump is on that course. As a peacemaker, it causes division at times. And that's where we all struggle. Because, of course, we don't want division in the sense of that word. It sounds dividing even, right? It is. It means division. But you do want to divide yourself from that which is not good for our country, is not good for our youth, is not good for the future. And it's already, shall we say, in the door. How it got in the door right now is not what I'm focused on. What I'm focused on is how we deal with it from this point forward. There's one of the stories in the Bible that kind of, they really make you take introspection. And it's about cleaning the house. If you sweep your house clean, and again, I apologize. Somebody fact check me, because I'm going to be quoting scripture, and I won't have it right on hand as to which I'm talking about. So all the more mystery to my language. Fact check me. There's a story about cleaning your house. And once you sweep the house clean of all the demons, shall we say, you have a nice clean house. But if you don't fill it properly, if you don't keep at it, if you don't maintain it, or if you start going back to ways that got it dirty or out of control, that demon will come back and say, look at the clean house. And he comes back with 7 more. That almost is like, it makes you a little tired. Well, if he can come back with 7 more, what's the point of cleaning the house? Like, if I got to clean it and then he's just going to come back with more, like, how do you ever get out from under that? Well, the answer actually is more simple than it sounds. It's the opposite of exhaustion. It's turning to God. It's turning to Jesus. It's realizing you can't. You can't do it alone. You have to do the work, but you can't do the work alone. You have to keep your eyes on Christ in all and through all, and starting with your own home, starting within your own heart. So America First is a reminder of, if you're an American, take care of yourself first. Make sure, Mother Teresa said this. Mother Teresa said, a smile brings peace. Peace begins with a smile. Peace begins with a smile. And she also said something else that I'm actually forgetting. It kind of suits the moment, but hopefully it'll come back to me. Peace begins at home. That's what it was. See, it's so simple sometimes we tend to forget. And I think a lot of what this show is going to bring are things that everyone knows. We know it. We already have the victory. We're already standing there. We need to be reminded. We all do. It's being human. If you don't, well, please, I need you on the show, because that's not being truthful, I think. And you can have it together, and you can have all the knowledge. You can be very strong. But in the end, God is in control. And we want to be a part of his plan, because his plan holds a hope and a future. So as we watch President Trump deal with issues that personally, I wish he were dealing with things here at home. He needs to be here focused at home, because our house right now is not in order. It's not. We have many people in Congress that are not working for Americans. That's not by my feelings, or they prove that. President Trump did actually, so if you want to see where President Trump is working at home, his State of the Union address pointed to it. And now that man has got a weight of the world, and he had to go take care of some issues in Iran, which I feel like has been put off for too long. That should have been, he should not have had to even deal with that. That should have been dealt with a long time ago. But that is something that, as a peacemaker, he saw the need, and he took a very decisive action. And that's why we are not war makers. We're peacemakers. We do not start fights. We end fights. We do not want war. We want peace. But how do you get to peace? As a Christian, I was Catholic. I was raised Catholic. I was told peace really won't come till Jesus comes back. So again, it's always like, so why bother? Well, why bother? Because you want peace. That's why we bother. We want it. And you work towards that which you want. And to know that you're being helped along the way as proof positive. And I'll get more back to that by my very sitting here. So here we go. We're going to go into a commercial, and I'm looking forward to discussing more about peace, because we're going to make it. Thank you.
Have you noticed your money just doesn't stretch like it used to? Your paycheck feels lighter, and your savings aren't growing. The culprits? Inflation and increased money supply. They've both been quietly eating away at your purchasing power for years. Today, the dollar's value has dropped significantly. You feel it every time you spend money on goods and services. Back in 1965, $1 or an ounce of silver could buy you a gallon of milk. Fast forward to today. That same dollar barely buys a couple of coffee creamers, while an ounce of silver would get you 8 gallons of milk. Gold and silver have held their value for centuries. If you had 2,500 ounces of silver back in 1965, you could buy a brand new Ford Mustang. Today, 2,500 ounces of silver would buy you 2 Mustangs. Similarly, in the year 2000, 628 ounces of gold would buy a new $170,000 home. Today, 628 ounces would buy you a $2,500,000 home. The problem? 95% of Americans don't own physical gold or silver. They think it's too complicated and too expensive, but it doesn't have to be. We offer a membership program that allows you to buy gold or silver with as little as $1. You can buy fractional amounts, safely vault them, or have them delivered to your doorstep, and you can liquidate them whenever you want at the highest buyback price in the industry. Ready to protect your wealth and keep your purchasing power? Scan the QR code or go to tafw.soundmoney.com to learn more.
If the vote count is accurate, then how come the number of voters is different? And if it's not accurate, then why was it certified? We are suing Letitia James and the New York State Board of Elections for a conspiracy against fundamental rights. This is not about who won. It's not about what party. It's about the fact that they don't care about your rights.
All right, live from Studio 6B on a Friday night, live at the America First Warehouse. Live at the America First Warehouse on a Friday, Real America's Voice, all across the country, 103.9 LI News Radio, all across your radio, Suffolk County, Long Island.
It's me, Joe the Box, and I'm John the Blanket with the America First Podcast.
That's what I'm talking about. The Fred Rubino Podcast coming to you from the America First Warehouse.
Welcome back to the America First Warehouse. What we're still doing? Fighting! Every day, all day long.
Welcome to the Patriots Podcast. Good evening, everyone.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the On the Right Side podcast here at the America First Warehouse in Long Island, New York.
Shane Jenkins here with another episode of Liberty's Cage.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to our podcast, Red, Right, and True.
We are streaming live on America First Media and Television app.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Downey Jr. Podcast. Be free, stay free.
The America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
Hello, welcome back to the Peacemaker. Practice in peace to make it. I didn't introduce myself. My name is Sarah Carpenter, and I am proof positive that when you stay on the line of peacemaking, God will carry you through. This is the America First Warehouse. The way I came across it was during the biggest trial I've had in my life. Pretty much, I think. No, there's been a lot of big trials. Not trials as far as going to trial. That's actually what I was doing when I came across. I'm a January 6th, was a January 6th defendant. And prior to January 6th, I was working on a project called the Peacemaker Talks. That was one of my projects. Maybe you didn't hear of it. Most likely not. It was censored. It really wasn't getting anywhere. Well, after being arrested and put through the trial that, how do we put this? How do I say this in a way that it really brings home, like, how miraculous is the fact that I'm sitting here right now? It really is a miracle, because I should not have ever even known, I would never have known about the America First Warehouse. I would never have known Joe the Box. I would never have known Teresa from Patriots Raw. Sue Hansen. Who's Sue Hansen? Sue Hansen was a woman who, from Long Island. I'm from Queens. I'm out in New York, Queens. This is a stretch. It's like over an hour from where I live. The amount of censoring that was going on, they were completely trying to divide us, keep us apart, through social media, through the internet, through all the mechanics that they have a grip on, because they do. They have a very strong grip. And when I say they, I say those who aren't peacemakers. Let's just keep it simple, because we can definitely get into the nitty-gritty. If you want to get into the nitty-gritty, here, I'll sum it up this way. If you want to know the nitty-gritty of who they are, now I'll call them non-peacemakers instead of the word they, because they sounds very conspiratorial, and the second that you say that, they love to jump on you and say, oh, who's they? Who's they? And it's kind of like, really? We're not, which 100 people. So if you want to know, tune into Know Your Enemies podcast. And there, it's all laid out for you very well who they are. And at this time, we'll call them non-peacemakers. So the non-peacemakers are very good at causing division. As a peacemaker, again, it's so particular. We're not the ones causing the division. As an individual, I'm not causing the division. But a division will occur if I am to speak as a peacemaker. Because there are those who are against me. Now, and again, I don't really take it personally, because it's not me they hated first, it's God. And the fact that that is my foundation, and I act and work and keep my eyes on that. My morning you wake up, it's you give glory to God. You recognize that there's a power that's stronger than you, and you want to work with it. It's a relationship. Jesus offers a relationship. And it's because of that relationship that I had a foundation on. It got me through the trial of January 6th not only got me through it, but brought me out on the other side, as you could see, somewhere I would never have placed myself, in my own strength and in my own planning. So it's really beautiful when you take a moment to recognize where it is that when you let go and you let God, you do not worry. You do not see the enemy as having any authority over you, your home, your family, your city, your country. We have the victory. We stand in that. Not because of our own strength, but because of God and our recognition, our devotion, our love, our relationship through peacemaking. Now, the word peacemaker, for those who do read the Bible, you know what I'm talking about. You know why that word is so important to us and so important in the direction of this country. So I hope I summed up well the miracle of January 6th and how I'm here now and I'm able to keep pushing forward, because what happened will come up in the future conversations. But right now I want to focus more on the overall understanding so that we're all on the same page, if you would. We're all on the same scripture. And Peacemaker is in the Beatitudes. The Beatitudes, happy, happy, happy Beatitudes, right? There's 7 Beatitudes, I believe. And each one starts a happy are those, happy are those. Happy are the peacemakers, right? So that is, if you're not familiar with the Beatitudes, you could find it in the Bible. And again, I'm going to make you do your own research. Because yes, I am forgetting. It's Mark or Luke. It's in 2 books. It's in two of the Gospels. And it is, both of them are very similar. They're worded a little different, but they absolutely are intrinsic to how we need to move forward as a country. So when President Trump has the Board of Peace outside, you see that on the outside of the country right now. He's got a lot of members going. We're going to have a peacemaker, each and every one of us here on the soil, keeping the peace. And the way you keep the peace is by standing firm on your Christian values. You will have pushback. I was arrested and placed in prison for standing on my Christian values. Now, a lot of people will say, no, you were arrested because you broke into the Capitol, and they want to put everything that they saw, everything that they were told on by the mainstream media. The mainstream media, sometimes, right? They're non-peacemakers. They're not. They're constantly stirring. They're constantly stirring the pot, trying to cause division. We don't cause division. We seek peace, but division happens. They're actually seeking division. So that's a non-peacemaker. So President Trump really does have a lot on his plate. But with each and every one of us standing up and standing firm, I think we can make his job go a lot easier. I think when you recognize we've been quiet too long, or you could say, no, I wasn't quiet. I was saying things. Okay, yeah, me too. I was also, but we were being silenced. We were being censored. We are being censored. I feel like it still occurs. there's still those who want to silence the Christian voice. And that is why all the more we need to keep speaking up. And it should come from a place of love. And that's all that I focus on. And when you have that one singular focus, it puts everything else in line. Your life suddenly becomes ordered. So no matter what they try to do to you, okay, you're suddenly putting me on trial. You're putting me in prison. You're putting me in solitary confinement. If I were to have allowed myself to try to fight it on human terms, they would have probably have taken down or I should say, they would have gotten more of what it is that they were searching to do, and that's to really silence someone. Sorry, you got to listen to me. It was through God's strength. It's through God's strength. So with that, I really feel it's God wants to strengthen each and everyone seeking Him. It's by strength to strength, Psalm 84. We're going to go to a commercial break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to discuss more how we can each go about this together.
You've worked hard and saved, but inflation and increased money supply are eroding your buying power. Protect and grow your wealth with physical gold and silver. Sound Money. With a Sound Money wallet, your wealth stays in your control. Buy fractionally, vault securely, ship directly, and instantly liquidate your gold and silver at the highest buyback price in the industry. Real money, real ownership. Visit tafwsoundmoney.info or scan the QR code and start securing your financial future today.
The America First Ultra MAGA Store. For all your MAGA needs. We sell t-shirts, tumblers, flags, hats, sneakers, bumper stickers, and a whole lot more. The most patriotic America First retail store. The America First Ultra MAGA Store.
At the America First Warehouse. Live at the America First Warehouse on a Friday, Real America's Voice, all across the country, 103.9 LI News Radio, all across your radio, Suffolk County, Long Island. Glad you're in.
Corporate transfer. Fine professional, moving and storage, and inventory management.
America First Warehouse was really the most patriotic venue that you can ever imagine. We wanted to build something for people to be able to come to and feel so comfortable and so relaxed because there was nothing out there like it. We give an opportunity for people to really feel good about themselves and about this great country.
Welcome back to Peacemaker Talks. And it was just so good to hear that Peacemaker talk, if you were listening to the commercial, of Joe the Box, when he says, we wanted to have a place where people feel comfortable, where they feel safe to come. And he really did. He followed his calling that I do believe God inspired in his heart. And that is what has kept me going. That's that same type of calling that God will speak to you when you seek him, when you ask for him. Is he right here? I love this. I just was looking. The one with great power to save. He really does. God has such great power to save. So we don't know sometimes where that help is going to come from. We don't know. We just know it, because especially I'm living in New York City right now. I live in the city, right outside the city. It has been, again, I'm going to give you another show to watch. To describe more about the non-peacemakers, you could watch the show The Midnight, We the People with Midnight. He very much lays it out. And he even had Rudy Giuliani on. And that's a voice. That's another voice. There's a peacemaker. There's a peacemaker voice. So those are the voices that I have to clue in on, discern who's speaking peace, who's seeking peace, who's a peacemaker, and who's a non-peacemaker. And that's something I have to constantly bring before, during prayer. I kind of, I have to say I assume that everybody prays. I assume I might take a little bit of too much of an assumption, because I know how great God is. I know how I don't know how his love is the depths and the heights. It's well beyond my imagining. It's so great that I almost think, well, everybody knows about him. Everybody must know. Like, how is it that we've gotten to where we are? It really confuses me at times. I don't understand it. And you can go through all the logic of it. Say, well, we started letting people into the country that literally wanted to take down the country. And again, I'm trying to stay focused on one principle during these talks. And I can do that. It doesn't mean that everything else doesn't exist. It doesn't mean I'm not facing reality. I'm facing reality straight on. I'm focusing on the good during these talks. It takes strength to be a peacemaker. It takes concentration. It takes a will. It takes a will. So even when your strength is out, let me correct myself. It takes faith. It takes faith. And then you apply the strength that God gives you. The rest will be applied by God. But it takes a strength to want to constantly be reaching that way towards him. So when we're faced with insurmountable issues, as we are as a nation, they really are. If you look at this through human eyes, and again, I'm assuming too much. I kind of feel if you're into the America Warehouse, it's already like you've done 101, the class of how we got where we are here in America, why we're saying America first, how this has formed up. There's a lot of incredibly difficult subject matters that even if you speak about them, it's evil. The Bible says it. The things that they do in darkness are so evil that if you to repeat it, it's hurtful. And so I'm not denying that that's not happening at all. What I'm doing is I'm staying focused on God, and He will lead us through it. So those who have to, everyone has their job as a peacemaker. God assigns you how He wants to work with you, what your relationship is. It's something you have to seek. So again, we're all at different levels. We're all different, at different understandings, at different places with our relationship with Jesus. You might deny Him fully and say, well, I don't really, because I've asked too long, or how could it be this way? How could this be happening to children? Where is God? And what I say to that, if you don't keep seeking justice, if you don't keep seeking peace, if you don't have faith in that, essentially you're not going to be able to help the children. You're not going to be able to. And Jesus, He says it Himself, talk about, you say, oh, a peacemaker, you kind of have an illusion. Oh, you're not. As a peacemaker, He said, if you're hurting these children, if you're doing that, put a millstone around your neck. That's pretty strong language. And I'm not a judge, I'm not a jury. And I'm so grateful for that. I'm grateful that God is the ultimate judge. And He gives me the choices. He lets me say, so you have to discern right now who it is you want to be keeping company with. Who is it that you're supporting or not speaking up to support? Allowing someone to be dragged through a criminal justice system that didn't even really commit a crime. You say, well, the system is too big. Exactly. All the more. All the more. I might lose my job. All the more. All the more. Now, that's not saying, to be, it sounds so radical to some people. Well, how could you tell the truth if I say it, that I might lose my job? I might, Well, if that's the case, you might really want to take a step and give yourself that 30,000-foot view of everything going on and say, if you're thinking that way, you might be in an abusive relationship with what you define as your career. Now, again, these are very. It's on the smaller scale. It's very difficult. You say, "Oh, we know for a fact, like certain things, too many calories make you chubby, right?" So, but yet we sometimes walk that path. But we know, hey, I'm going to have to use a little discernment, I'm going to have to use a little strength here, and I'm going to have to ask God's help to lead me in the way that I need to be led. It's constant. It's a constant, especially now during these times. I'm going to be speaking more on the January 6th. That we have an upcoming show that'll be on dealing with, I forget the title of it, Gary McBride, I believe, is going to be hosting it. They'll be speaking about we're going to be splitting the waters. The non-peacemakers will be on one side, and the peacemakers are walking towards the other side. So we want to encourage one another. We want to counsel one another. And we want to do it in ways that are going to be Because we do want people to understand and hear us. So if you're put to the point where, like they did to us at the Capitol, where they tried to drown us out, and they tried to drown us out by infiltrating a rally, a peaceful rally. And they tried to stir us up, and they tried to make us look like we were the ones causing the problem. And at the same time, they were the ones who were going along and protecting the people who were actually the problem. So I can't speak for all January 6ers, and all January 6ers can't speak for other January 6ers. Each person went there that day with their own intention and with which the majority of us all agreed. We want accountability. We want the 2020 election to be shown as it was, stolen. And somebody didn't want that to happen. I shouldn't say somebody. Somebody once told me. It's more than one, and they're still around. So as peacemakers, we have to find out. We have to go forward together, but we have to find accountability as peacemakers. So come back for this last section, and we're going to discuss further how we're going to go about that peacefully.
Most people think they have options when searching for the best deals when they travel. But here's the shocking truth. 100% of the major travel agencies are owned by just two entities, Expedia and Booking Holdings. They claim to offer the lowest rates, but due to the hotel rate parity agreement, they all have the same pricing, limiting genuine competition. When you book through these sites, you act as your own travel agent, but the profits are going to organizations that don't support our patriot values. We cannot allow that to continue. So, we decided to make travel great again by starting a US-based travel membership platform, mypatriottravel.com. We are patriots helping patriots. Together, we can disrupt the travel industry by not spending our hard-earned dollars supporting the radical left. For just $29.99 per month, you gain access to true wholesale rates on travel, saving you on average 35% and up to 65%. Book as often as you like, with no limits. Keep your hard-earned dollars in your pocket and spend them on things you need and want to support. Go to mypatriottravel.com/TAFW and grab your membership today. mypatriottravel.com/TAFW, making travel great again.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
I'm sure you guys remember the platinum single, Justice for All, with Donald Trump and the J6 Prison Choir. Well, get ready for round two. We're coming out with Anthem of the Free with High Res and the J6 Prison Choir. It's coming out now. It's pre-sale until December 19th when it drops. Get yours on all platforms, Google Play, Apple iTunes. Get it. It's going to be hot.
Justice for all, voices ring, the anthem of the free.
It's me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land.
The America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see, a symbol of unity. For the patriots of America, we stand tall and free. In the America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
Okay, we're back, and we're practicing peace. And I tell you, this is a lot easier to do with on my own little computer at home. This is God really has turned the table on me and presented me with an opportunity to really to get a larger audience. And I want to give another thank you to Joe the Box for giving me this opportunity. And just to take a deep breath and just pause for a moment to really acknowledge that and to thank him. We're going to have a real good journey here. This is going to be, I think, what's going to be unfolding, because this is, we're all pilgrims on a path. What do you call that? Pioneers. We're pioneer peacemakers. We're 250 years young, this country, right? 250 years young. What a future. And we know we have a future because that's what God had promised us. Again, fact check me. It's in the Bible. Jeremiah. He's got a hope and a future. But there's a thing going around right now on social media, hashtag. And it's just, what do you call that when you use just the first letters? It's a hashtag, it's NGMI, which means not gonna make it. So I guess, like, let's use it in the reference of you're going to watch your favorite team play a sport. And, of course, you're going to say about the other team, they're not going to make it. NGMI, they're not going to make it. We're going to win. What I'm doing here, again, is the Peacemaker Talks comes from the angle of you're going to make it. You're going to make it. If you are going to abide by the laws of God, Jesus, and that is to have faith in him, to ask him to come into your life and direct you, to have a relationship, you're going to make it. And I just want to put that type of pathway. Actually, I'm not putting the pathway out there. The pathway is there. I'm just kind of illuminating the pathway. It's an illumination. And when I left off on the last segment, I said, we're going to discuss how we're going to move forward peacefully. This is a journey. We have to be getting stuck on the word that I'm trying to think. Ingenious and very creative. We have to be creative. We have to think outside the box. So we need Joe the Box to keep our mind on the fact that we need to think outside the box. I want to have an annex, a warehouse, America First warehouse annex in Queens. I think that would be a nice thing to have in Queens, wouldn't it? Over in what's now occupied territory. You know what I mean? I referenced a few shows that will define it better. So sticking with how we ought to move forward through peace, I really have learned a lot through President Trump and the way that he works with people. But I do have certain lines that I'm not where he's at. I don't have of course, he's the president. I'm not where he's at. I have to work from where I'm at. And he has brought people into the Oval Office that I don't think deserve to be there. But again, he's the president, and I'm going to trust that he has a way of dealing with issues in a way that he needs to be able to deal with them. And I'm going to deal with issues in the way, and I'm confident that God is going to see us through peacefully in New York. I think we're going to see a huge Well, let's back it up a little bit more before we even go into what's happening now. Because what's happening now is a direct result of something that happened, 6 years ago now? On January 6, 2021, that infamous day, as they'd like to say. What makes it infamous is the fact that there are those in our government who betrayed and coordinated an attack on innocent civilians. Ashley Babbitt, Roseanne Boylan, Kevin Greason, Benjamin Phillips, add in Brian Sicknick. He did not die that day. He did not die at the Capitol. He did not die from the way that was first reported, which shocked me. That really shocked me. I was very upset, but then I had, thankfully, the relief to know that that's not the way the Brian's, did I say his name correct? The officer, Brian Sicknick. That he died from natural causes the next day. I believe he needed help. He needed assistance from his fellow Capitol officers, to which I think maybe he, again, I don't want to speak too directly on these. It gets very nuanced. It's a very difficult subject matter. I support law enforcement. But if you're not under the recognition that law enforcement were acting upon orders that were not, shall we say, peacemaking with the community. We're a community in our nation. We have we're peaceful. We were peaceful. And they couldn't, if anything, they couldn't decipher how to handle it. They didn't know how to handle it. What happened there? As a retired law enforcement myself, I served as NYPD from the years of 1992, and I'll say up into 2001, September 11th. I retired in 2004. After 2001, it became clear that our city was under attack. It's something that I saw not as something that's ongoing. New Yorkers have been under the cloud of 9/11 since 9/11. As a peacemaker, I could see this. Because I could see that it caused a division. It caused a lot of pain. And if you don't clean up your house right, I think Rudy Giuliani, prior to September 11th, things were getting put back in order. Times Square was cleaned up. And then it used to be a real, I don't know, look what the Times Square used to look like in the 70s and 80s. It was really, it drew a lot of demons, shall we say. And it got cleaned up really nicely. It was doing really well. But then after September 11th, things just started to kind of get put back in the city, but I don't think got put back in a way that we recognized needed to be put back, because our house that had gotten swept had gotten revisited by 7 more. And that 7 more evils that we're trying to infiltrate and tear down the beautiful, beautiful city that we have. It really brings culture, the arts, music, and I think God wants us closer to Him right now. And in doing that, we'll clean things up. It'll clean things up. Times Square needs a cleaning up again. We need to bring more of God back. And we can do that peacefully by just abiding by what we know is the course for this country. And that is to protect our youth, to protect our faith, to protect one another from those who are looking to divide. And each one of us need to take a more than ever that those moments where we put down the phone. Charlie Kirk said Saturday's just the Sabbath. Put down that phone. If it's Sunday, again, these are the things as a journey we can walk through, but that's what God wants, a day of rest, a day of just going to Him. So as a peacemaker, we're just going to constantly go back to that. So I hope you join me in the warehouse again. I'm going to be having guests come onto the show, and we will discuss more about how we can make it with peace. It's going to take some strength and some courage, but I think it's going to be a really beautiful, beautiful.
First warehouse, a beacon for all to see, a symbol of hope, a symbol of unity. For the patriots of America, we stand tall and free in the America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be. The America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see, a symbol of hope, a symbol of unity. For the patriots of America, we stand tall